In the movie starting, we see a corrupt detective, Go Geon-soo, whose mother recently dies of old age. His subordinate told him about the arrival of the bribe squad for investigation of their bribery. He tells him that he will come soon and pick up his sister's incoming call. She asks him to come soon. Few moments later, he crashes into a homeless man. Geon-soo tries to call 112, answers his daughter's Mina incoming call. She asks him if he buys the chocolate cake for her. Suddenly, a police car coming towards him. Gunsu's gotten scared and tells her daughter that he will call her later and hides with the body behind the garbage. After police car goes to the other road, Gunsu hides the body in his car's trunk and goes towards the funeral station. On the way, he was stopped by the traffic officer who asked him to blow in the alcohol meter. Gunsu tells him that he is a little drunk today due to his mother's death, but the officer still insists to blow in the meter. Gunsu tries to convince the senior officer to let him go, who asked him about his ID number. Traffic officer told him that his number is 14 digit, which is invalid, and it is supposed to be a 13-digit number. An officer tries to open his car's trunk. Gunsu stops him from opening it and hits the officer, and the other officer subdued him. Headquarters confirms his identity. The bribe squad searches the office and requests to open the locked drawer. Here Gunsu slaps the officer and asks if he wants any other ID. He sits in the car, but despite the officer's reminder to use a driver because he's drunk, Gunsu ignores it and drives away from there. Bribe squad found lots of money and the records of bribe taken. Chief came to the police station and asked what the hell is happening here in midnight and orders them to come after the funeral. Squad leader reveals the bribes taken by the detectives and says that the chief is on another level. Here Gunsu is hella scared about the body. His sister calls him and tells him to come quickly. After arriving, Gunsu meets his colleague who asks him to take all the blame on his head. His sister tells him about the preparations for the funeral done. After that, his colleagues left from there. During the funeral, he receives a message about an officer coming to search his car's trunk. Gunsu makes a plan to hide the body in his mother's coffin with her and goes to buy the balloons, but spotted by his colleagues who are discussing to stop the investigation on their bribery, and heads asks the funeral head to let him spend some time with his mother. Kunsu prays to his mom to forgive him for what he is about to do. He covers the camera with balloons and uses his daughter's Mina toy soldier to pass the rope connected to the body through the ventilation duct and uses shoelaces to pry open the coffin middle nails. A worker hears some suspicious noise and informs the guard, who says he'll send someone with the keys. Kunsu hides the body in the coffin but then hears a phone ringing. Realizing a cell phone is still inside the coffin, he prays to his mother to stop it. Then the head came into the room. Somehow it stops ringing. Gunsu ran away from there. On the other day, police chief calls to tell him that everything with internal affairs were solved. Then Gunsu sees a car and crashes into it to hide his car dent. Chief told everyone about getting a tip on a wanted murderer named Lee. After seeing his photo, Gunsu understands it was the same man on the night of accident. After arriving on his hideout, Detective Choi finds Lee's ID and suspects he's fled. Gunsu meets an officer at the accident scene, learning the killer hit and ran with the body. His told security footage might reveal more. Gunsu insists on joining Detective Choi, but the blood video yields no clues. At home, Gunsu's sister suggests opening a snack shop by the police station, but he goes to his room without responding. The next day, Gunsu gets an unknown call about Lee's murder. Angry, he calls the caller for pranking and goes outside the station to find him. He tells him if he should report about Lee being seen in Mount Yangja. Gunsu sees a strange man in front of the police station sitting in a taxi and starts to chase him, but lost him. Gunsu was having a nightmare when Detective Choi woke him up and asked if he had replaced his entire bumper of the car and told him to come quickly. Gunsu then received a call from the same man and told him he would never get Lee's body. In the office, Gunsu repeatedly cuts the call of that man. Suddenly, a man came and starts beating Gunsu, threatening him how dare he hang up his call. Turns out to be Lieutenant Park Chang-min, who stopped the bribe squad investigation and apologized for the misunderstanding and goes to the toilet. Gunsu asks him what he wants. He tells Gunsu to bring Lee's body tonight. Gunsu beats the hell out of him, but got his head in the toilet. On that night, Gunsu examines Lee's body, finds bullet wound, and goes to Lee's hideout. He charges Lee's phone and gets an unknown call. Detective Do finds the caller as Jo Myung-hyun, who is from the same village as Park. Gunsu orders Detective Do to send him his photo and current location, but got refused because it's illegal. Gunsu tells him he'll take the blame. Detective Choi reviews traffic tickets, notices Gunsu's damaged car, matches the accident vehicle, and becomes suspicious. Gunsu finds and captures Jo Myung-hyun, asking why is Park so determined to get Lee's body. He learns Park was selling confiscated drugs, which were confiscated by the bribe squad. Before making a deal with the Yakuza, Lee steals the money and flees. Park shot Lee and was chasing him and hides by the Gunsu's car. Gunsu learns about Lee keeping important items on him. After finding a key on Lee's body, Gunsu called by Choi, who tailed him after discovering that Gunsu's car was damaged immediately after the time of Lee's death. Choi says he'll go to prison for a long time. Gunsu tells Choi that he's wrong about him and reveals about Park blackmailing him in the car. Park calls Gunsu to the road. Gunsu signals Choi to stay in the car, but Park kills Choi by dropping a shipping container on his car. As Gunsu prepares to expose Park, Park threatens to murder his entire family. Gunsu arrives, finding his family safe, and receives a message from Park demanding Lee's body by 6 o'clock. He books a hotel for his family and asks them to stay there while he's gone. Gunso steals an explosive bomb from the police station and implants it in Lee's body before delivering it to Park. Park takes Gunso's kid and revolver. Gunso says that someone shot Lee. Park admits to the shooting and questions who killed Lee, him or Gunso. Before firing a shot, Gunso warns that if Park killed him, an email with evidence will be sent to the police, leading to Park's life sentence. Gunso urges Park to kill him quickly, but Park decided against it, claiming Gunsu will be useful and leaves. Gunsu detonates the explosive, blasting Park's van off a bridge into a lake. Gunsu waits to see if Park emerges. If he does, Gunsu will ensure his end. Gunsu returns his home and speaks to his daughter Nina before reporting his crime, but is attacked by Park, who survives the explosion. In the ensuing fight, Gunsu's revolver gets trapped beneath a fallen bookshelf. Gunsu stuck his hand in the door and goes to the other side of the room. Park somehow frees his hand and accidentally shoots and kills himself while trying to dislodge a revolver from a fallen bookshelf. Senior police officials decide to cover up Park and Gunsu's crime to protect their reputation. They ask the chief if he can conceal this for Gunsu's sake, and the chief agrees. He told him that he will delay his resignation and asks him to come back quickly. Gunsu asks Youngchul to arrange a truck and tells his sister that they can start the snack truck. Youngchul and Gunsu's sister becomes happier, thinking of the reunion. Before leaving the grave, he finds Lee's key on the ground and goes to access the park's private vault and discover tons of money, more than he could have imagined, not even in his wildest dreams.